What's going on, everyone? So, Quentin Grimes and the Philadelphia 76ers have finally agreed on a deal, and not really a deal, is more Quentin Grimes accepting the $8.7 million qualifying offer. So he will be an unrestricted free agent going into next offseason. They weren't able to come to a long-term deal. Supposedly the Sixers offered him 3 years. I think it was like $39 million. A couple various deals, even tried to get him to waive the no trade clause because he comes with an inherent no trade clause, trying to get him to waive that by offering him an extra $100,000. But Quentin Grimes was like, nah, I'm good, because he doesn't want to just get traded to where he wants to go. He wants to have that control where it's like, hey, get to the trade deadline. If you're going to trade me, I want you to trade me to a team that, that I actually want to go to. But for a guy on a qualifying offer, doesn't really matter, right? Because the only teams that are probably going to trade for him anyway are teams that know he's going to sign to them, right? I'm not trading for Quentin Grimes unless I know he's sticking around long term to give up assets, but it also does kind of help him prevent going from a team that maybe just wants to get off a salary or something like that. And he's like, man, now I got to go to whatever, Charlotte or something like that. It's like, I don't want to go to one of those teams. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Quentin Grimes as well as this season, as well as in the off season when he becomes an unrestricted free agent. Do the Philadelphia 76ers look to trade him? Do they keep him the rest of this season and then just kind of let him walk and run that risk? They would still have the sign and trade element of it to where, yes, there's teams that have cap space, but does he want to go to a team that can contend and win? Or does he want to go to a team that, potentially is a bad team, maybe on the rise, where he can kind of be one of the key fixtures, right? Does he go to a team like the Brooklyn Nets and kind of tries to go be one of the main components? Or does he open it to going to a team like the Lakers, where he could go and play alongside Luka Doncic and maybe be the second or third guy and contend for NBA championships? We'll be curious again to see how that plays out. But Quentin Grimes. I would love to have Quentin Grimes. Talk about 25 years old, saw it in 2 or 3 for you, can play multiple positions, make plays for others, can self-create. He took some huge strides last season. On the season, he averaged 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists, but it was with the Philadelphia 76ers that he really skyrocketed to just under 22 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.5 steals, and half a block. So he just became that well-rounded, all-around type of guy. I've talked about on several occasions the Lakers trading for Quentin Grimes this season. He wants kind of in that $25 million range. I'm not going to lie. If you could turn Austin Reaves into another piece, earlier today, talked about the proposed trade that came from Minnesota's side of things, not the Lakers side of things, came from Minnesota's side of things, where they would be willing to trade maybe potentially a Jaden McDaniels in a trade for Austin Reaves. If you could turn, say, Austin Reaves into a Jaden McDaniels, right? And then go and turn a Rui Hachimura or a Dalton Knecht type package into a Quentin Grimes, I think that'd be fantastic. Because, you'd be talking about, again, Luka Doncic, Quentin Grimes, Jaden McDaniels, LeBron James, and DeAndre Ayton, which would be, again, ridiculous. You'd have shooting, defense, athleticism, everything, all the things that you would need and want in order to make that team work and make sense and be contenders for multiple years. And that starting, or at least 4 out of those 5 would be your 4 out of 5 starters for the next, 5 to 10 years even, right? Because Quentin Grimes is 25 years old, right? Jaden McDaniels is 25. Luka Doncic, 27. DeAndre Ayton, same thing. And then all you'd need to do is just fill in the LeBron James role in a post-LeBron era, whenever that is, whether it's next season or the season after or whatnot. Maybe a Jake LaRavia fills that role, or maybe a Dude Theroux fills that role. Regardless, you would have the things that you want and need alongside a Luka Doncic in a post-LeBron era. And I think, Quentin Grimes, if he can kind of maintain that level of what we saw with Philly, because that's the other thing, right? Was that just kind of a circumstantial run? Was that something where He went to Philadelphia that was just decimated by injuries and stuff, and, basically got to go out there and play however he wanted to play? Or is that something where he can kind of, like, that's who he is? Like, that's the player that he can be. Basically a 20-point-a-game scorer, self-create, create a little bit for others. If he could be a 25-5 guy, that would be, again, fantastic, right? We saw him also play very well in that, like, third role alongside Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. So that bodes well, too, to where if you can get a Quentin Grimes, I don't like the idea, if I'm being honest, me personally, of Luka, Austin Reaves, and Quentin Grimes. Yes, Quentin Grimes technically can, again, defend 1 through 3 and whatnot, but to me, the only way that Quentin Grimes really makes sense is to be a Austin Reaves replacement, right? Because he'd be probably cheaper than Austin Reaves would be, and he'd be better defensively, athletically, all of those things, to where, and if he can still give you the same level of production, maybe not the playmaking and stuff like that, but a guy that can still create and create for others, right? So give you a version of that. And he's $10 million cheaper, so you shed $10 million off your books next season. And then top of that, you can go and get a Jaden McDaniels or something. I just think that's a no-brainer. I think that to me, that makes all the sense in the world. But I don't think Quentin Grimes makes sense and is worth going and ponying up what you need to pony up to get him if you're not going to trade Austin Reaves, if you're just going to keep Austin Reaves, right? Because at that point, it's like, I just feel like there's too much redundancy, right? But Quentin Grimes, because of the athleticism thing, even if you think Austin Reaves is better, right? Is Austin Reaves $10 million better? And is Quentin Grimes the better fit? Because that's the key. Is Quentin Grimes the better fit? I believe Quentin Grimes would be the better fit. His ability to play on ball, off ball, all of those things, I think, would really go a long way, right? Like you saw, he's a career 37.5 three-point shooter on 8 attempts with Dallas. 8 attempts. He shot 37.3%. That's great, right? Like, obviously, 37.8% isn't, like, unbelievably good, right? It's not like, oh my God, he's the best shooter in basketball, but to basically be 37%, 37.5% on 8 attempts is good. Right. And that's with him having to self-create a lot and doing those things. If he could, I wouldn't be shocked if he's back up. I mean, he was 40% with Dallas. He was 39.8% on the dot, if you want to be specific, on 4.3 attempts. So again, if he could give you something like that, where he's shooting nearly 40% on 6 to 8 attempts a game, and slots in alongside Luka Doncic and is a better kind of point of attack, versatile defensive piece. He's more athletic, right? Like, I just think that is something that would be better for the Lakers, especially if you can turn Austin Reaves into a player like a Jaden McDaniels, right? Like, what would you rather have? Would you rather have a Austin Reaves and Rui Hachimura or a Quentin Grimes and Jaden McDaniels? I personally, with Luka Doncic, I think it's a no-brainer. You go get Quentin Grimes and Jaden McDaniels, right? Because the whole question, if you get off of Austin Reaves, is like, okay, well, Luka, or I guess argument more so than a question, right? Luka, the 2 best seasons he's had was alongside another shot creator as well as, secondary kind of playmaker at times. Austin Reaves is that. Like, Austin Reaves, this right now version of Austin Reaves is better than Jalen Brunson was on Dallas. I'm not talking about New York Jalen Brunson and what he's become. I'm talking about the Jalen Brunson we saw on that conference finals run. Austin Reaves right now is better than that. Kyrie Irving is obviously Kyrie Irving, but there is this kind of blueprint right now with Luka Doncic, that Luka Doncic alongside a secondary shot creator and shot maker with the proper athleticism and defense around those two can get you to the conference finals or the NBA finals. Hasn't shown that it can get you over the top to win, right? But again, you'd have LeBron James and DeAndre Ayton and things like that. So there are some other benefits. But to me, I think if you can go get a Quentin Grimes, he gives you that Austin Reaves, Kyrie Irving, Jalen Brunson role. He gives you that guy that can be that secondary shot creator, be that secondary playmaker for you. He's not to the level of Austin Reaves, but he can still, again, he's given you nearly 5 assists last season when he was as the primary scoring option and playmaker. So if he could do that, if he could be a 25-5 guy for you, and then you go and get a Jaden McDaniels, which is all the offense or all the 3-and-D that you need, the 6'9" frame, versatile defender that can defend 1 through 4 for you, gives you more athleticism and more defense and more capability. And then also you add in, DeAndre Ayton and his athleticism and his offense and what he can do. And can he get back to being the Phoenix Suns defensive player that we saw he was in Phoenix, right? When Phoenix was on their way to the NBA Finals and the 3rd ranked defense. Like, you start adding and compiling all these components, and then also, again, LeBron James, I think you have a team that can go win an NBA championship, right? For multiple seasons. You have the youth, the size, the athleticism, the defense, the shooting, it's just check. Right? So, to me, I think that would be a much better balanced team. I think that'd be they'd be more talented overall. I think you'd have all the components necessary in order to win a championship and then continue to win championships. And then you're just kind of carving out your bench and all those other things, right? And then when LeBron ends up departing, whenever that is, where if you win a championship this year, I don't think LeBron's leaving next year. If you go back to back, he's probably sticking around. So you probably would, if you win a championship, you probably have LeBron a couple years. And then if a Giannis or a Jokic or something like that ends up becoming available, then, you'd have guys like Quentin Grimes and Jaden McDaniels and just more desirable pieces that would make sense for a team like, if that's the route the Lakers want to go, which I'm not saying that they should, nor would I, because I just think you give me Luka Doncic, Quentin Grimes, Jaden McDaniels, DeAndre Ayton, and LeBron James. Hey, that's more than enough. And in a post-LeBron era, all you need is, like I said, a Jake LaRavia or an Adu Thero to kind of step up. Jake LaRavia being 6'8" that can slot in and do those things. I think that could be huge for this Lakers team. And now you have all the components and pieces and everything together. And now you're just kind of working out and rounding out the bench. And year after year, kind of just trimming and upgrading around the edges. But you basically have the main components of the starting unit and what your team makeup would be for the foreseeable future. And again, it really boils down to Quentin Grimes. Like, can he maintain and be that piece though? Right? Because outside of that 21.9 point run with Philly, the closest first full season which he did that was with the Knicks, in which he averaged 11 points, right? So he's, for his career, a 10.5 point game guy. So again, there would be those questions of, is Quentin Grimes is he closer to that 11 point a game guy, or is he closer to that 21 point a game guy? I'm not saying he has to necessarily be 21, but, because if Luke is going to be, 38-8, and then you have DeAndre Ayton in a post-LeBron, Austin Reaves, would probably be a 20, plus point a game guy, I think, right? He was 17-8 for his career. He was 18, almost 19 point a game guy with Chris Paul. I think he'd be that with Luka Doncic, right? So, you figure Luka, DeAndre Ayton, Quentin Grimes can be like a 17 point a game guy, right? Like 17, 5-5. And then, Jaden McDaniels and what he can do. And then you just got to get that piece in a post-LeBron era. And I think you're off to the races, personally. But anyways, always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. What do you think? How do you feel with your thoughts? Do you like the idea of Quentin Grimes? Do you not? Do you think, nah? Does it depend on if you can get like a Jaden McDaniels or something like that? How do you feel? Either way, love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.